everything that I need to know about what lies before me, everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me.
Stand up and join us.
Everything that I need
to know
about what lies before me, everything that I need
to know
about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me.
Need to do
Everything that I need
to do
about what lies before me, everything that I need
to do
about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me.
to love
Everything that I need
to love
about what lies before me, everything that I need
to love
about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me.
freeform now.
Da-dum, da-da-da-da, da-dum,
Ba-da.
ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da,
Ba-da.
ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Need to know
Everything that I need
to know
about what lies before me, everything that I need
to know
about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me,
through the mind
through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Church in Albany. Let's say our mission together. Grow. We grow. What do we grow? Thank you. I think we have a mission, and oh, great. So let's say together. The mission of Unity Church in Albany is to awaken to and embrace the divine essence of all beings through prayer and service. And now let's say together our vision statement. We celebrate oneness with spirit and with the divine nature of all. And so it is. Do we have any prayer chaplains this morning who are brave enough to stand up? Dennis Ryan, thank you. Deb Foss, thank you. If anybody would like some private one-on-one unity prayer with them at the end of the service, they'll be happy to be at the back. And Jack Allison is here as well. Thank you. Now for announcements. Were any of you here last week for the spectacular food fest downstairs in celebration of Reverend Crystal's departure? Was that not amazing? We have Margaret Fitzgerald and her incredible team to thank for that. What some of you may not know is that Kevin was planning on creating the feast and then came down with some vicious bug late in the day on Saturday, and the call went out for help. And Patrice knows this very well, that Margaret responded yes. And Gretchen Nortz and a bunch of other wonderful people helped pull it together. And I think Margaret was cooking late into the night. And when I saw them in the kitchen on Sunday morning, until 2. But I have to tell you, Margaret was totally lit up and all aglow and in her loving glory. And that is such an example of rising to a call for service and realizing that it's exactly what the essence of you wants to do. It was just spectacular. So a big thanks to all of them. Yeah. Aha, Sherry, you want to stand up? So you may notice, remember last week Sherry got up and said, there is a book coming to Reverend Crystal, but it's not quite ready. This is the book. So we have a copy for the whole community that will be in the library. Yay. Thank you, Sherry Warren, for sharing your gifts. And now, speaking of gifts, we have a gift coming up, our spring retreat. It was initially our fall retreat that became a spring retreat when our speaker, Paulette Pipe, could not make it for the fall. It's rescheduled for Friday, March 27th, and ends on Saturday, March 28th. If you haven't already signed up, you can do so in the lobby, and I'd like to give Jerry Ann a chance to share a few words about this.
So, we're going to all gather together 5:30 for dinner on Friday, which is a little different than we've done in previous years, so it's a little earlier. So we'll start registration around 4:30. If you come for dinner, and we're all at dinner, and you need to register, we'll do that after dinner. Okay, I can meet up with folks after dinner. The date is the 27th of March, which is a Friday, and it ends at 4:30 before dinner on Saturday. Now, another thing I really think is really important to mention here, if anyone would like to contribute any scholarship money, and it can be a small amount or the full amount for the retreat, we kindly accept that, graciously accept that offer. If anyone is in need of a scholarship or a partial, I can't guarantee full scholarship, but we start with partial. If anyone is in need of a partial scholarship, all you need to do on your registration form would appreciate scholarship money, okay? And that is kept confidential between you and I. You know, it's not a, we do not, thank you. We do not advertise who's given us the money, because we know that comes from their heart and it's between them and the divine. And we do not talk about who is getting scholarship money, so that's all confidential. If you have any questions about the retreat, a lot of people are asking me, yes, you get your own room. You do not have to share a room, but you do have to share bathrooms. They are down the hall, you know, like college days. And the facility is quite beautiful. We've been there before. If some of you might have experienced it, and you could tell others. But it's really a nice facility. We eat cafeteria style, so they can cater to everybody's needs. If you have super special needs that are like outside of the normal realm of cafeteria food, and the nuns also eat in that cafeteria. So, and their meals are nice. They're very nice, and it's very, you know, expansive what they offer. Lots of breakfast foods, lots of lunch foods. So we'll be having dinner, breakfast, lunch, and an afternoon snack before you take off, so nobody passes out on the way home. Okay, so does that sound good? Any questions? Let me know.
And I feel an affirmation coming up. I affirm that every single person who wants to come to that retreat will be there and will be provided for. Yes, so let's hear it for Joy. And Paulette Pipe, I just want you to know, she is supposed to be phenomenal. Some people have met her already. Reverend Jim was blown away when he first heard that Paulette Pipe was coming here, and she really is a gift of us, to us from Crystal, who is friends with her. Yeah. So, coming up this coming Saturday, February 15th, one day after Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is next Friday, just FYI. And all of us love chocolate, if you're wondering. Our Earth Care group urges all of us to join them in viewing what's been called the environmental film the world has been waiting for. It's called The Need to Grow. We just saw a little flyer for that. Here's a 2-minute clip.
To put your hands on the earth and to watch things grow right before your eyes every day is pretty amazing.
When I'm turning soil or planting vegetables or weeding or maintaining a crop, harvesting, I feel more alive.
Becoming so much more conscious of where the things that are nourishing your body comes from is one of the most amazing parts of farming.
Every day you wake up and you make the decision on what's the most important thing to do for me today, and then you go and do it.
That's a beautiful thing, when you can do something that you love and get a little bit of money for it.
The main mission is to grow clean, fair food and make a living.
We're all looking for more farmers, we're looking for more land to be farmland.
We're working towards a positive future. Everyone in society has to think about the ways that they're contributing to the destruction of the world.
We need to address the ways that our food systems can perpetuate injustice.
I can only imagine a world where farmers are upheld in society like doctors and every fourth person is a farmer again.
It's not surprising that people are coming back to farming. It's so exciting that people are seeing that we don't have to do with what the culture has given us. We can create something better for ourselves.
Farming is what I want to be doing now and what I see myself doing until I can't do it anymore.
Farming is an activism for a way of life that is in danger.
Wow. How beautiful is that? So that movie is going to be showing here next Saturday from 4 to 6. Thank you so much to our Earth Care group that is making this kind of beautiful movie possible for us. Thank you. Now we have 2 fantastic other events coming up in Black History Month, which is February, the month we are in. First is going to be a facilitated discussion on the current film called Just Mercy. Just Mercy. It sounds like we should all see it, right, Deborah? Yeah. Okay. In other words, see the movie. Just Mercy. So there'll be a discussion on that film, so it'd be helpful for all of us to see it before the discussion on Saturday, February 22nd, which is 2 weeks from yesterday. And that'll be from 2 to 4. And we have a very special guest who's going to facilitate it, a minister named Denise Kirtley Kane. She's a minister in the United Church of Christ and a mover and shaker in the field of human resources, among many other career accomplishments. It sounds like it's going to be an incredible, that is here. Wow, so if you didn't hear that, Sherry just shared that she's from Virginia, and when she comes to town, she comes to this church. So that is a not to miss, coming up on Saturday, February 22nd from 2 to 4. Second, we are beyond overjoyed to announce that we are going to have a local high-powered gospel group called A Joyful Noise. They will be here on Sunday, February 23rd, in place of our usual one-song service. How good are they, you ask? Well, they have just been signed to appear at the 2020 Freihoffer Saratoga Jazz Festival at SPAC. That concert will start at 6:30. Oh, our concert will start at 6:30 2 weeks from today and will run till 8. Don't miss it. Bring friends. And last and not least, on Sunday, March 1st, following the 11 a.m. service, we are going to have our annual meeting. It features the election of our new board members. There are handouts available in our 2 lobbies with bios for each of the 4 candidates. And the 4 candidates are Carol Moritz, Pat Wood, Dottie Freeman, and myself. And in case those are not enough announcements for you, there is more information about all our events in the bulletin, the schedule above the water fountain, our Facebook page, our Twitter profile, our YouTube channel, and on our website, unityalbany.org. And by the way, hello to all of you who are coming into us electronically. Who says Unity in Albany doesn't have a lot going on? My goodness. Okay, so now that we have weathered the announcements, let's settle into an opening prayer and reflection. I've been thinking this week about the miracle of life in all the ways it shows up, little and small, in animals and plants and humans and the cosmos, and about how easy it is sometimes to lose sight of the miracles that happen every day. We get lost in our patterns and our thinking and our busyness until something stops us in our tracks and pulls us up short. I know many of us in this congregation have had those moments where something's happened that pulled us up short or stopped us in our track and had the mundane patterns of everydayness fall away and have us see what really matters. And sometimes those events are painful. It's a diagnosis we never thought we'd have. It could be a lost job. It could be any number of things that cause us some kind of heartache and pain. Or it could be joy. It could be a moment of incredible joy at the birth of a child or the celebration of 2 friends who are committing to a lifelong marriage, who are deeply in love. Or it could be this exquisitely beautiful sunset or a moonrise. Did anybody see the moonrise last night? Oh my gosh, if that doesn't stop us in our tracks, I don't know what will. Well, I had one of those moments in the last couple of weeks where I was stopped in my tracks. A loved one got a message during a routine exam, so I am here to say routine exams are good things. I'll start doing that soon. Got notice that there was a freckle that seemed to have gone rogue, and that it might in fact have turned into a dangerous thing, and that they should get down to New York City or Philly for an oncologist immediately. And that stopped me in my tracks. And I thought, boy, have I done what I wish I had done with this person? Have I spent the time with this person? Have I said the things I wanted to say? Have I shown up the way that I would have wanted to show up if I don't have a chance to do that again? And as I was wondering those thoughts, I went back to a writing that my son found taped on the inside of a pantry cabinet in his wife's great-grandparents' home years ago when they were cleaning out their house. And it's written by somebody who Wikipedia has never heard of, called Gilbert Hay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you that piece of reflective writing and then a short prayer that comes from it. So if we can center in right now, it'd be great. The best things in life move slowly. They can hardly overtake one who is in a hurry. But we are making haste for ill purpose if we haven't time to read good books, to think quietly, to visit our friends, to comfort the sick and sorrowing, to enjoy the beautiful creations of God and humankind, and to lend a hand to a struggling sister or brother. Time is precious, but more precious than fleeting hours are truth, benevolence, friendship, service, a serene mind, and a happy heart, for those are the essence of life itself. Mother, Father, God, sweet Spirit, great mystery flowing with us, through us, and as us. May we remember that oftentimes the best things in life move slowly. May we choose to make time for those thoughts, words, and actions that matter, that really feed our hearts and our souls, and feed the hearts and souls of others. Bless you. May we choose to be living expressions of your truth your compassion, your joy, and your love for all beings, large or small, including ourselves. We thank you. We love you. Remember that sometimes the best things in life must move slowly. And so it is. Amen. And now, let's stay centered in for our daily word. Today's daily word is joy, and let's affirm together, I am God's joy. The Apostle Paul declared to his followers at Thessalonica, yes, you are our glory and joy. I pause to remember relationships that have brought me joy, and I bless everyone who has shared those relationships. I treasure the good feeling that arises when people I care about let me know I have brought joy into their lives. Sharing joy is an important part of the human experience, and it has the potential to bring people together in spiritual community. Joy is an attribute of God and is a sure sign of the awareness of God's presence. As I grow in spiritual awareness through prayer, God's joy permeates my consciousness and infuses every area of my life. As I make a commitment to expressing joy, I become an ever clearer expression of God's perfect idea. And from 1 Thessalonians 2:20, yes, you are our glory and joy. Today's daily word is joy, and the daily affirmation is, I am God's joy. And so it is. And now for our music makers.
Please stand. I'm good. I don't need it.
There is more than enough in a universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let my soul know the truth, whatever I choose to do, your infinite love will prove more than enough. There is more than enough in a universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let the world know the
What a beautiful song, and what an incredible gift we have with these musicians. Let's give them a hand. Our music ministry is one of the most compelling aspects of this very compelling church. And I just want to talk for a brief moment about the obvious. Last week we celebrated Reverend Crystal's last Sunday. So today is our first Sunday without Reverend Crystal here. And I just want to say, we who stay are the church. And we who stay will carry Reverend Crystal's love for us and our love for her forever, just as we carry all of the ministers who came before. And Deb Berger can enumerate them for you sometime, because she has lived through all of it. So right now, in honor and celebration of Reverend Crystal and one of her gifts, let us talk about what day it is today. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. What day is it? That the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And so it is. And a special welcome to anyone who is here for the first time. If you feel courageous, feel free to raise your hand, and we have ushers ready with little gifts for you. And it looks like we may have only repeat offenders today. Thank you, we who stay, for staying. As you all know, this is a praying congregation, and we always have prayer slips in the pews that you can use and put into the offering bag as it goes by, and also a prayer box in the lobby there. And now is one of our favorite times of the 11 o'clock service to meet and greet your neighbor. We invite you to take a moment to stand, greet each other, hug, shake. Hello, enthusiastic people. Thank you for going back to your seats. And as you go back to your seats, I just want to share a request from Sherry. Today we're doing photographs of current board members, past board members to be, and Roger the musician. Sherry? She'll tell us in a second. Sherry hasn't yet returned to her seat. Okay. And I just want to say one thing, that when we do the offering, you may notice that some people put their hand over the basket, and some people have asked what that is. So in our tradition, if somebody gives in other ways, and or they mail in their tithe, or they donate on the website, it is their way of acknowledging the blessing of this church into the basket as they pass it along. That's what's going. And I will say that we have a prosperity class going on now with John Frederick. This is a 12-week program that he's created, and the tithing has been extremely generous. So you may see multiple hands covering the basket as it goes by, and that's the reason. Okay.
We'll move into our meditation time with a song.
You want to do a statement of oneness?
Oh, the statement of oneness, that's right.
Sure.
Together, the power of Christ's
love now releases me from any sense of separation from spirit or others. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe. That one is God, the good, omnipotence.
Okay, as we come into our meditation time, I invite you to get comfortable in your seat, feet flat on the floor. And I invite you, I think, for this meditation, if you put your hands in your lap, palms up and open, as a way of indicating your receptivity to Spirit, to the infilling of Spirit. I invite us just to take a moment, as usual, to look at our breath, pay attention to our breath. Notice it rising and falling gently. And as we are exhaling, allow any tensions, any anxieties, just to fall away. Any concerns about something happening later, this week, whatever, let it just fall away. So deal with it another time. For Spirit is here now, willing and ready to gift you with its presence, only asking that you empty yourself, make yourself available. Opening your heart, opening your mind, opening your hands. As a way of welcome. And as Spirit moves among us, moves in your heart, it wants to infill you, it wants to enliven you, refresh you, bring wisdom, bring healing. We allow all that this morning as a pure gift of grace from God. Know that as you breathe in, Spirit breathes in with you. As you breathe out, again, releasing anything. And in the simplicity of that influx, of that movement of breath and movement of spirit and openness of heart and mind, we move into a time of silence. Having opened ourselves to Spirit, to the divine, we're now in a place to give as well. And so, still in the silence, if there's anyone in your life that you'd like to offer prayer for, someone in need of healing, in need of comfort, in the silence, in this space, feel free to speak those names. We offer these loved ones up to you and know that you are with them, you support them, and give them strength. And as we come back to the space now, slowly, let's pay attention again to the breath, and we'll take a few deep breaths. So breathing in together, and just releasing, just relaxing the lips. Another deep breath in. one full breath, full of gratitude for this moment. Breathing in, holding, and letting go to the arms of Spirit. Wiggling your toes, your wrists, moving your neck. Just bring yourself back into the space. And in your own time, invite you to open your eyes. So it's my pleasure to have the opportunity to speak today. In many ways, Crystal's a hard act to follow. Do my best. If I had a really wacky hairdo, it might help. Hope you're watching. And since it's my message this year, I have a disclaimer to start with, and that's this. I don't know anything. But that will make sense as we go. During the month of January, Reverend Crystal was working with Unity's theme for the month of mystery, allowing space for the unknown and the unknowable. I'm taking that as my starting place today as well, and in fact, you could say that that's our starting place every morning. Life is indeed a mystery. And it's wise to realize that. When faced with mystery, there's one appropriate response, I think, and I've invited some familiar space voyagers to elaborate on that for us.
There it is, sir. It's like a hole in space.
Now, we're acquainted with the wormhole phenomenon, but this appears quite different. What do your sensors indicate?
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Data, you must mean that it's empty of matter. There's always some energy formed to it.
Sir, our sensors are showing this to be the absence of everything. It is a void without matter or energy of any kind.
Yet this hole has a form, Data. It has height, width.
Perhaps. Perhaps not, sir.
It's hardly a scientific observation, Commander.
Captain, the most elementary and valuable statement in science, the beginning of wisdom is, I do not know. I do not know what that is, sir.
So I've titled my talk today, The Beginning of Wisdom. And the beginning of wisdom is I do not know. Data wasn't the first to say that. Actually, he couldn't be. He's in the future somewhere, and I just said it. So. Actually, it was Socrates who said, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. And we have no indication that Socrates was a fan of Star Trek. So. As humans, we don't like to admit that on a day-to-day basis. We really don't know what's going on. We don't know why we're here. We don't know what everything is for. Is it really even necessary for us or appropriate for us to have beliefs even? Maybe what we need is just good questions. Well, having beliefs is very convenient, though, of course. And it's healthy, actually, and often necessary. I believe, for example, that good will triumph. I believe that I'll be okay, that I am okay. I believe that some creative supreme being put me here and loves me eternally. For me, those kind of beliefs are better described as having faith. They're essential grounding beliefs that may hold you in good stead for your entire life. Other more specific kinds of beliefs will likely change, maybe frequently throughout your life. For example, I used to believe that I get one pass at this. I get one earthly life. It's over. I better have done a good job. Now I believe that I've had many earthly lives and may have many more, but it's still an unknown. It's still an idea. My belief could change, and whether or not it does, my underlying faith, I think, will be unfazed. That's where I plant my feet. Once you form a belief, it tends to close off further exploration and openness to what is possible. And this possibility is actually the theme for this month. It's interesting to look at the derivation of the word believe. It's comes from the German, and it literally means to love, from Leben, I believe. If you're in love with something, you highly value it, it also becomes an attachment. The B part of believe means already done and completed. I'm married to this idea, and I disavow other ideas that may conflict with it. When we talk about the difference between having faith and having beliefs, it's kind of like the difference between spirituality and religion, right? People like to say, I'm spiritual but not religious. Religions are replete with beliefs, but they were founded in faith. And the trouble is, once the beliefs get established, they're very hard to change in an institution like a religious faith. It can and does take centuries. Well, old religious ideas were something that Jesus confronted in his time. He always had these people following him around, questioning what he was doing, and they were like the leaders of the religion, the leaders of the law. Why are you healing people on the Sabbath? Right? Why are you mixing in with the wrong crowd? Isn't that a tax collector you're hanging out with? And other sinners like that? And his disciples were always doing things like not fasting when everyone else was fasting. And you're supposed to be fasting. And you can kind of feel this sigh from Jesus, you know. And this is a quote from the Gospel of Mark when he responds to this kind of talk with, nobody sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment. Otherwise, the new piece will pull away from the old, making the tear worse. This is before the days of wash and wear. And no one pours new wine into old wineskins. We'll have to take his word on that too. Otherwise, the wine will burst the skins, and both the wine and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins. This is a gentle way of saying, get it together, guys. Science is a lot like religion in some ways. It can be its own form of religion, really. There's always a tension between what scientists have proclaimed to be true in the past and what modern science is discovering and pondering today. There's always that recalcitrance to embrace the new. Quantum science is 100 years old, and it still seems like it was just, came up with 2 months ago. And then when you pit science against religion, things get really tense. It took more than 300 years for the church to say, okay, Galileo, you kind of had a point there. So I want to bring to you a new scientific theory you may have heard about that is probably already upsetting the apple cart of people who are a little firm in their beliefs, not their faith. And it's kind of an odd theory. It's this, that we live in a virtual reality universe. A computer simulation, in effect. It's a theory that's actually gaining ground quite a bit. How does that make you feel? At first glance, it's like, give me a break. That sounds ridiculous. Tell me something else. Well, here's an example of a guy who's perfectly up for this idea. Elon Musk, Elon Musk expects to set foot on Mars in a few years. CEO of SpaceX and Tesla. He was recently asked about the simulated universe hypothesis, and he answered, the odds that we are in base reality now is 1 in billions. Meaning he thinks the odds are very high that we're in some kind of a simulated universe. Well, we don't want that to be true because, what do we believe now? I've been trying not to throw out the baby with the bathwater, but now it feels like you're saying there's no baby here. But hang on, it gets really interesting. I'm going to share with you today some words from a physicist talking about this. I had the pleasure of hearing a couple different interviews with him recently. His name is Tom Campbell. You can bring up his picture, it's already there. And he believes that we're living in a virtual reality, which he says, this is really important and key, he says it is an entropy reduction trainer for souls. What? An entropy reduction trainer for souls. Entropy is the natural tendency of things to lose order, life to become less structured, for sandcastles to get washed away, for your garden to be overtaken by weeds, for cars to rust, for you to age. And reducing entropy sounds like a good idea, but what does that have to do with the soul? And but I can think scientists were too keen on the idea of the soul. Well, Tom Campbell has a different opinion. So it's a 2-minute audio clip. Let's listen to Tom.
Well, if this is a simulation, who's in charge? Who's the programmer? Where is it simulated from? So suddenly questions about this being not the reality, but a subset of something bigger. And what is this bigger thing? You see, it brings up all of those metaphysical questions, suddenly have scientific rigor, because scientific rigor says this is a virtual reality, then it cannot be computed from inside this virtual reality. It has to be computed from elsewhere, from another reality frame. And so consciousness must be in another reality frame. So the second step is that they realize that consciousness is the computer. If you take those 2 steps, once you realize that consciousness is a computer, it's just a logical inference to come out with love is the answer. That's why we're here. This is a virtual reality, okay? It's a trainer, just like a flight trainer. This is an entropy reduction trainer. And suddenly, if love is the answer, cooperation, caring about other is the way you evolve, and the self-centered fear thing, fear is the way you de-evolve, that will make a huge difference in not just for the scientists, but for everybody walking around on the planet. And then you realize that because this is a trainer, you know how trainers are, if you get it right and you do the right thing in a trainer, you get rewards, if you don't crash your airplane in a flight trainer, you get to continue to fly it. So people will realize that as they work in the direction that they're meant to work in, what our goal is, what our challenge is, and our mission is, everything starts to work good. Instead of a constant struggle, you find that life is good. You find happiness. You find satisfaction. All of the good stuff starts to fall at your feet once you start cooperating with the system and growing up and getting rid of the fear and becoming love. So it has the potential to change everything at a very fundamental level.
How about that? Physicist. So when you put it in those terms, saying that this world is a virtual reality simulation starts to make sense from a spiritual point of view. And if you're a person of faith who's loose about their beliefs and willing to be open to new understandings and new viewpoints, still just an idea, really. It's not all that threatening to ponder such new ideas. If we look at Unity's 5 basic principles, for example, which are a great example of solid grounding faith-inspired beliefs, it fits very well. God is loving, good, and present everywhere. There's something beneficent, benevolent about the program. There is no other power aside from God. Maybe, is it God? Is God the programmer? You start thinking this way. We are spiritual beings created in God's image and therefore inherently spiritual and good. Third principle, being spiritual in nature, we too are creative. Hey, maybe we're the programmer. Consciousness is the programmer. Our life experiences are created through our ways of thinking and believing. Our experiences in the virtual reality simulation. Through prayer and meditation, we reawaken to our natural state of communication with God. Sounds like we're asleep here, dreaming. Dreaming is actually a virtual reality, isn't it? And ultimately, we leave the virtual reality. And you can think of people like Jesus and Buddha as people who did that. I'm going to take a little quote from the gospel that's very popular among people who are very set in their beliefs, and I'm going to reinterpret it slightly. And God so loved the simulated universe that he sent his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not be stuck in entropy, but should reawaken to their natural state of full communion with God. And then the fifth principle in unity is knowledge of spiritual principles is not enough. We must actively incorporate them into our lives. They must be joined with loving actions, with reaching out. He was saying the same thing. And that's how the world changes. We move out of fear and into love and reveal it, show it in our lives. And then what happens when we begin to live that way? Well, Tom Campbell said, all of the good stuff starts to fall at your feet once you start collaborating with the system and growing up and getting rid of the fear and becoming love. So it has the potential to change everything at a fundamental level. What a beautiful vision. It reminds me of this quote from St. Paul to the Romans, Romans 8. For to those who love God and are called by God's plan, everything works out for the good. That's what it comes down to. So here's a way to reduce entropy and eventually awake from the simulation. It's called the spiritual path. A simple one is this. It starts with opening to the mystery, loosening up our beliefs and perceptions of what everything is, which are really fear's way of keeping control anyway. We admit that we don't know, and we ask God. We might just say, is there a God? God, are you there? Or we might, if we already have that sense, we might say to God, what is the truth here in this moment? What is the truth in this circumstance? And then we stop, we pause, we listen. If we're having difficulties with another person, God, what is the truth here in this brother or sister? Say that silently. What is the truth in this circumstance, in this illness? And then we wait. We remain open to the more that is there behind the appearance of the simulation. We allow for an influx of wisdom, of grace, of spirit. And once that happens, once we're in our peace, we can do the next part. We can say, okay, what would you have me do? Who can I help? What should I say and to whom? That's the putting faith into action part. And that whole thing really is, that's the spiritual path in my opinion. At least I believe it is. To use the word believe. There's a quote from A Course in Miracles that's printed in the bulletin today as our scripture reference. And it's this: heaven itself is reached with empty hands and open minds, which come with nothing to find everything and claim it as their own. Heaven itself is reached with empty hands and open minds, which come with nothing to find everything and claim it as their own. So we pray, lead us, Father, Mother, God, from this false world of entropy to the real world of your kingdom. Lead us from darkness to light, from despair to hope, from sadness to joy, hatred to love. Amen. For the closing affirmation, and it's this. Let's say it together. From love have I come, and to love I return. I place my faith in the divine love that resides at the core of my being. Hold that for a moment. Say it again together. From love have I come, and to love I return. I place my faith in the divine love that resides at the core of my being. And so it is. Thank you. So Jerry's gonna do a song for you that is really about simple faith, just what we were talking about. It's just about opening to what is and being ready, being open to it. So here we go. By Carol King. Oh, that wasn't a good chorus. Did I do that same thing? I did the same thing in another. 1, 2, 3.
What must I do? How can I serve you? Is it true what I do is the way to be near you? I'm listening, though sometimes I can't hear you. Looking around fills me with wonder at the way you can keep this old world running smoothly. Thinking of you always seems to soothe me. I know you're probably not a man or a woman or a time or a season, but I'm here and life is dear, and I guess that's a good enough reason to say, just let me be you. What But you put me here to let me be what you want me to be. And I hope it'll cheer you. I'm listening and I think I can hear you. Even when I thought I didn't believe, you believed in me. And everyone is a part of you, and anyone can know you. All they've got to do is be. I'm listening and I think I can hear you. I'm listening and I think I can hear you.
Okay, so it's our time for the offering. I invite you to take a moment to find what you have to offer our ministry this morning. And when you're ready, if you'd like to place that at your heart, you can do that. Then we'll say together our offering blessing. Ron, here we go.
Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are blessed to know that Spirit is our source. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is. Amen.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. We used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the skies are all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do.
Hey, I want to thank Julia Alsera for joining us today. And I want to thank Pete for leading tonight's one-song service, which you'll be doing. I may sit in, but he's in charge. He's in charge. And is there anything else we need to say? I don't think so. Oh, there are children here. Come on in, guys. Oh, it's those children. It's those children, is it? Did you behave yourselves today, children?
We talked all during class.
Okay, we'll do our blessing for these teachers and for the children who we visualize together.
We love you, we bless you, and we behold the Christ in you.
Okay, kids, sit down. Virtual children, yeah. I'd like you to stand up and join hands. Here we go. 1, 2, and...
If I know that will be done, I just have to trust.